but the coronavirus pandemic changed everything.
As years pass by, the fresh graduates are facing new challenges in looking their job during the pandemic of COVID-19. According to Higher Education Minister Datuk Seri Noraini Ahmad, she said this COVID-19 crisis could put more hurdles to 75,000 fresh graduates in looking employment this year. She added, based on last year, it has been estimating that unemployment figures among fresh graduates were up 330,557%. They are 41,161 or 13.8% remain unemployed. According to Department of Statistics Malaysia official portal, they already present the graduate statistic from 2016 to 2019. The number of unemployed graduates in 2019 was 170.3 thousand students compared to 2018, which increased 5.5%. Unemployed among fresh graduates usually consists of several factors. First, their demand on the salary, and next, their lack of skills, which suitable skills that meet the needs of the industry, such as technical skill, problematic solving skills, communication skills, especially in English, and also their lack of training preparation for work. Based on our research, fresh graduates nowadays are less minimum preparation in facing the globalization and the new economy era. Currently, based on our research, there is no guarantee for Malaysian graduates with a good academic achievement to get a job. It's a benefit for them, but it's not a guarantee for them to get a job. So, the fresh graduates need to put a lot of effort in preparing themselves to stand out enough to get a particular job, as they are competing with other fresh graduates as well as the job seeker with experience.
The issue of this case study is with the existence of COVID-19, graduates face difficulties in getting jobs. As a result, fresh graduates compete with one another for available positions. They compete, for example, between those who have graduated and those who are still unemployed, like someone with high academic achievement will have a better chance of getting a job than someone with a relatively lower academic achievement. The graduates must always keep track of the passage of time according to this case study. So, the graduates will constantly be aware of the most recent advances. Graduates, for example, can learn what a company is looking for when hiring new staff. Furthermore, the employment industry considers not only the graduates' academic achievements but also their work experience. They have the skills for a job if they have previous work experience. This is because these businesses want to continue to expand and survive even in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, if the organization recruits experienced staff, he will be able to carry out his responsibilities as directed by his boss. As a result, the level of competition between businesses will rise. Next, parents also play a role by providing support to children in venturing into their field of work. In conclusion, many graduates are unemployed due to this challenge, that unable to find employment due to this pandemic. For example, the percentage that stated in this case study is around 25%, that is as many as 75,000 graduates are estimated to be unemployed due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
What can students do to improve their chances of finding employment after graduate?
One of the improvements that need to be made by a graduate to find a job after graduation is that they must improve their skills and critical thinking. As we know, in the new norm, many are impressed as unemployed and still trying to find a job that suits themselves. They must compete with many people like fresh graduates from all over the university to get a job. So, every graduate must always be prepared with all the informations and know all about current issues, as known as students must keep up to date for all situations. Then, students must be willing to contribute all the ideas, skills, and their benefits to provide a good perspective on the job to be offered. A graduate also needs to accept jobs from various types of companies, whether small or large, to gain work experience. They do not have to be picky about gaining experience, especially in the current pandemic situation. Many workers who lost their jobs and graduates must be openly accepted and grateful for every job they get. Then, they also need to be realistic about their salary view. They do not need to demand higher salary at an early stage. In fact, many more companies have high regard about who have a lot of experience working, because they think that these graduates know how to basically work and how to communicate with other employees through the way they deliver the answer to every question with the confidence. A graduate also needs to improve skills in technology. For example, learn how to use computers, electronic communications, and internet resources to increase students' independence and productivity while pursuing a career. Within the company, they are very focused on technology that can be delivered by their employees, so they can build a high-power company, especially in the current pandemic situation. So, as graduates, they need to hone their IT skills so that more companies have high regard for them.
There are many reasons on why it is hard for a fresh graduate to get a job. Firstly, it is because most of fresh graduates lack of skills. Second, they also had a poor character and attitude. Last but not least, they also lack of knowledge of the job market. There are two types of skills that being neglected by the fresh graduate when applying a job, which are technical skill and soft skill. So, what is technical skill? Technical skill is an abilities or knowledge that are needed to fulfill practical tasks such as in science, art, technology, and many more. It may be different depending on the job position itself. For instance, a programmer are required to have a knowledge on the several coding language, while the customer service representative are required to have a good skill in the customer's management and telephone system. So as we know, each of the job scope use different tools, system, and processes. So you'll be a more competitive applicant if you have in-demand technical knowledge and skill in your field. Soft skill refer to an abilities which have to do with how you work and interact with the others. Communication, teamwork, and other interpersonal abilities are all popular soft skills. Soft skills are very difficult to teach, and it is become one of necessary for long-term success in organization. Thus, this is what the employers need and looking for when making the selection of new applicants. If you notice, when you're looking for a job, you may observe that many employers specify certain soft skills in the required and desired areas of their open position. For example, leadership and a great communication skill may be required traits in job posting for a marketing specialist. While listing your soft skill on your resume, it helps you to catch an employer's attention. During the interview, you'll be able to demonstrate that you actually have them, while some skills such as an effective communication may be shown. But resume is not the key for the applicant to get a job. A candidate should be able to show their performance well. Nowadays, fresh graduates might lack of soft skill. We know sometimes students in any of university will only focusing on having a great GPA instead of applying what had they learned in their life. But don't you know that it is not all about technical and theoretical outside there. It is all about how you adapt with your current situation using your own critical thinking. For example, your work performance is worse if you are just reading the slide given in the meeting room instead of explaining them to the client. This will give a negative impact to the organization because you are not competitive enough to show your confidence toward your customers. Many organizations had recently encountered the issue of an applicant failing to show up for an interview without prior notice. This is such an irresponsible attitude that fresh graduates have toward their employers. The candidates also frequently are concerned about the time management, particularly when delayed or forgot their interview appointment. Typical reasons include being stopped in traffic, raining, getting lost, being too far away, and so on. Even some of them are making such an unrealistic reason, such as unprepared for the interview, ignorant about the job scope and corporate background, and fail to bring the required documents. Besides, when you're applying for a job, you must fulfill the requirement need for the job posting. For example, a customer service representative should have a good personality, which includes the way of she or he dressing. It can build confidence toward ourselves and it will bring a good image toward your companies. The problem is the applicant is not concerning of their appearance and they think that the job is suitable for them based on their educational level itself. The last one is lack of knowledge about the job market. Normally, fresh graduates are lack of knowledge about the job market and what are the employers looking for. It might be cause of they applied too many job positions at one time in many different companies.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nazeera Binti Nasir. So today I will talk about what initiative can government take to simpler the fresh graduate to get opportunities to be employed. So stay tuned. Human Resource Minister M. Saravanan says the government is looking to create more job opportunities for fresh graduates who are expected to struggle for work because of the challenging economy and COVID-19. The government need to plans to help fresh graduates includes career roadshows, employment incentive, and introducing job opportunities in the gig economy. Other than that, they also can improve youth soft skills and transferable skills by taking initiative to make it easier for university graduates to get employment opportunities by reviewing and improving their education system. Otherwise, human resource needs to plan in collaboration with all institutions of higher learning, agencies and academia by making internship program. This way can have transferred the skills in working such as ability to learn new things quickly and independently, to adapt to new technologies as well as environment, and to think analytically, critically and creatively among fresh graduates. Government is also addressing youth unemployment through the Youth and Sports Ministry, which is becoming more prevalent as the nation growth suffers due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This ministry has undertaken a number of initiatives aimed at reducing young unemployment and improving their job market competitiveness. Initiative to equip youth with their necessary skills and information to prepare them for the future, as well as initiatives to increase self-employment opportunities, including social entrepreneurship, are among them. Other desirable traits include a good working attitude as well as good interpersonal communication and leadership skills. As we know, in this era, most of the job announcements require several years of work experience that most graduates don't have. As a result, most of the graduates, even with a higher qualification, is unemployment. Governments can encourage public and private organizations to organize programs to hire new graduates into their workforce as a part of corporate social responsibility. This approach is also good for organizations to inject new blood for new ideas and even younger workforce that is passionate about venturing into the field of employment for the continuity of major employment. Governments, universities, and employers can collaborate to conduct further research to understand the root causes, short or long-term or efficient prevention action, addressing these additional problems for university graduates in finding employment in the increasingly hopeless COVID-19 crisis, in getting a stable job and in line with qualifications. This way can encourage students to align with their education with market demand.
So, you guys might think what university can do to help fresh graduates get higher opportunity to get their job. Okay, let me explain. We know that university play an important role in preparing students to face the real world. So, to succeed in today's global, university need to ensure that they improve the students' communication skills, the critical thinking and analytical reasoning skills, the application of knowledge, the complex problem solving and analysis, as well as ethical decision making and teamwork. This can be practiced regarding on to complete their assignment or any task that needs students to apply their knowledge to the current issue in Malaysia. Apart from that, it enhances their critical thinking and solve the problem. Not just that, curriculum also must keep up with the changing time, which they can create any event that needs students together in a teamwork. This will improve their communication skills toward each other. Not forget, include all the knowledge, skills, and the necessary training to produce students who are highly competitive and ready to be part of the workforce. Also, it must provide the student an experience of real-life work setting while being enrolled. In addition, university can teach students about their career option. Based on research, normally students will state one common answer, which is they do not know what position suits for them. By that, university can play the important role in explaining for them what career that exactly suit for them. By that, it might help the student in preparing themselves, preparing their skills to get the job. Last but not least, university can help students to improve their interview technique. We say so because first impression is incredibly significant. So it is important to fresh graduates learn on how to handle it. Thus, what university can do by having an interview training, then advise them, give them a feedback on what they need to improve, such as remind them to focus on having a self-confidence, eye contact, and a good posture. Also, speaking in clearly and coherently.